we are introducing SCIENCELOVE's Art mini paint pouring kits. We have mini paint pouring kits and mini marbling kits. So this is a smaller version of our larger kits. So make sure you get paper down or something, and make sure that you put on some an old t-shirt or something, that because you never know. I have paint on all my clothes because I don't always do that. So put your magnets aside and open up your paints. These little containers are very handy because you can close the paint up and create artwork later. You don't have to do all of this at one time. All right, so for my first piece, I'm just going to let my beaker create the artwork. So I'm gonna get some red here. I think I'll do white first. White's always good to put first and last in your beaker. There's something about the right weight of white. And the other thing is, let's shake these up. Make sure you shake them up. All right, so I'm gonna take a little bit there, and then I'm gonna shake my yellow and add some yellow. Uh-oh, popsicle sticks will come in handy for that. So there's really no fancy way to do your layers. Just add the layers, as many layers as you want. You don't. Now, if I put green next to yellow, let me shake this up. What do you think I'm going to get? Green. All right, I think I'll put some more white. And some more yellow. And some more blue. And a little bit more white, and a touch of red. Now you'll notice in my beaker it's not all the way full, and it doesn't need to be all the way full. I'm just going to add a little bit of red. Let's see what happens with that. Now this is totally random, y'all. There is nothing about this except for that I'm just enjoying layering these colors. Okay, let's see if I can get the... Can you see my colors? So it's kind of interesting to look inside too, because you can see these colors start to kind of blend together. All right, so there's a couple ways to do this. You may have seen some of our other paint pour demonstrations. I like to layer a color down first. I think I'll just put a little bit of white on here, and it just helps everything flow a little bit. You can use any color you want. You don't need too much. And it doesn't even have to be perfect, just a little bit of, you know, that moist paint. All right, I am going to do this method. I'm just going to pour it on. Now you're going to see, look at those greens. I didn't put green in there. Now I have plenty in this one that I might just start doing a little bit on this one. How cool. Okay, I'm just going to set this on top of that for a second. You can do whatever you want. This is so fun. Okay, so now you can see I've got these very pretty colors. I love the design it's making now, but I would like my colors to go all the way to the end. You could leave it just like this if you wanted to. But I am going to tilt this a little bit and see if I can get a little bit of movement. You'll see the colors from beneath starting to come up, create little dots and cells, which is kind of what inspired this project, is the shape and the organicness of the design. I am all about microbes. I'm on a microbe grant. And the beautiful colors and shapes we're just learning about. There's all this new technology, but it is so fun to create art inspired by what we could see, what we might see out there. Look how cool that is. Okay, I really like that, so I'm going to leave it. Just let that sit here and dry. Okay, let's get back to this one now. I've got a nice little base here. I think with my next layer, I'm not even going to rinse this out. I'm going to add some more white. And I think I will add yellow again. And red. We haven't added much red. We can see a little bit of pink in this design. Remember, we just put a little bit on there. And these paint recipes, this is not just regular acrylic paint. There are lots of different ways you can mix your own paint. And I've experimented with a lot of different ideas and methods. So this one is just one that we have found works very well. It's very simple. Okay, I'm going to end with white. And my little beaker here is about half full, because I don't need a ton for this one right here. Okay, now what you can do is put your stick in there. You don't want to stir it. You could just go in and out. Just that motion will give a little bit of mixture to the design. Okay, so I've got my base. Now I'm just going to do this one. I think I'll do lines this time. I'm just going to go across like that. So many ways you can do this. You guys will all have your own ways, your own favorite ways to make your art piece. And you're going to have enough paint. You can make so many things. You can make cards for your friends or family. Okay, I'm just going to leave that in there. Now I'm just going to lean this over a little bit this way and lean it this way and let the paint start just moving around a little bit. You can use your finger or you can use the stick. Sometimes it gets stuck on the wood and it just helps to kind of pull it along like that. See that? Hopefully you can see that. All right, now I have so many pretty colors in here. I've got pinks, purples, greens, turquoise, kind of a forest green. I think I'll go a little bit this way. Now if you've got foil around the house, you could put foil down too, instead of just paper, and let your paint dry and make something out of that. Because you're going to have these spillages. Some people like to let that dry and then they peel it off and glue it. Now that is looking good. Now what else is so cool about this is through time, you're going to see these change. Let's look at this one again. Do you see how it's all these different colors are coming up and textures are showing? Very fun. This has a little bubble in it. All right, now I still have almost all my blue, half of my yellow, half of my white, pretty much all of this white, and most of my red left. I've got one more piece here, but don't forget you can get rocks from the outside, you can get cardboard, so use all your paint up. Take your time and create different things. Okay, this time what I think I'll do is, I don't want that to stick. There we go. I think I'll mix a little bit of paint here. I am going to make a little bit of red, not a lot, and a little bit of white. What do you think that makes? When you add white to any color, it's going to make it lighter, right? And let's see if we can make it purple. You wanna? All right, I'm just guessing. I'm just having fun playing around and guessing. That's kind of a pretty color right there. All right, so let's look at our color wheel. What's across from yellow on the color wheel? Purple and yellow are across from each other. So that's going to be really contrasting. So why don't we use those in our beaker and see what happens? We have a little bit of colors from before, but that makes it even more interesting. So I'm going to start with white. And I'm going to add yellow. I'll add quite a bit of yellow. Okay. Now I'm going to add my purple. Now I don't have much in there because I don't need that much, right? Don't need that much. Hopefully the light on this is okay because I'm in my studio and the sun is coming in the front window. It's very pretty. Okay, let's see. Let's do a little bit of white. You guys can plan ahead what colors you want to make. You can do little samples of what happens if I add like 2 drops of this with 2 drops of that, you know? That is fun. I've done that on many occasions when I'm trying to figure out the perfect color, and I write it down so that later I can say, how did I mix that color? There's 3 drops of this and 5 drops of this. Okay, we've got purple in there. Now I'm just going to finish off with a little bit more white. Good, and a little bit more yellow. Okay, now for my, I'm going to do a little base color. I think I'll just do it in purple because I've got just a tad bit left in here. Not even much. Maybe I'll add some yellow. That's one of our colors, right? And yellow, you know, you could, this is just one color of yellow. You can add a little bit of red and you've got a little orange yellow. You can do, yellow is, every color has so many different variations. That's the fun of that. Now here's another technique I'll show you. If I turn this over and just let it sit there a while, all that paint is just going to come down and kind of pile up right there. That'll be kind of fun because it'll mix it up in a different way than I've done yet. Let drops kind of fall. And with these, y'all, take your time. You don't need to rush. Take your time. Starting to see purple come up here. It's interesting to see which colors start coming up. So I'm just going to kind of tilt it a little bit very slowly and see how the designs change when I do that. You guys are going to create some amazing stuff. Every time I do this, I can't believe how different they all are. All the creations are so different. That's the fun of it. It's not really about intentionally drawing a house or a car or a tree. It's more about just experimenting with colors and paint and textures to see what all you can come up with. And really these colors, you can look at some of our other videos. You know, colors have different weights. There's a fluid dynamics about color. There are people that just study color and the science and the weightness of it and how the colors work together with different materials. You know, when you go buy paint at the store for your house or for a project, there's so many different kinds of paint. There's oil paint, water paint, acrylic paint, and they all have different properties. Okay. I like just looking at what that's going to do. It's interesting, there's just because we used our little beaker that already had some color in it, and I could see just a little bit of blue like right in here. And it's pretty interesting to see that.